the feeling in the body. You do not contemplate the person in the body. You contemplate the body in the body. What kinds of body? The body is nature, dukkha, anatta, and asura. The body is impermanence, suffering, non-self, and ugly. You see this body as they really are. If you do not practice Satipatthana, you think your body is everlasting, your body is pleasant, your body is safe and beautiful. So people are so proud of their body because they don't see impermanence, suffering, and non-self. They think their body is everlasting, pleasant, safe, and beautiful. So in this Satipatthana Sutta, in order to have a precise object, Buddha repeated the words Kaya Kayanupasi, Vedanasu Vedananupasi, Chaite Chaitanupasi, Dhammesu Dhammanupasi. So that means meditator is precise in his or her mindfulness of the body, feeling, consciousness, and Dhamma. When meditator practice body contemplation, Kaya Nupassana, he or she is ardent, he or she is clearly comprehending and mindful. Atapi. The word atapi comes from the word atapa. Atapa means heat of the sun. Heat of the sun can heat up things so that things become withered and they may even burn. So in the same way, the efforts heats up the mental defilements or burns them up. So atapi means you make real effort, not a slack effort. You make a real effort to be mindful and to clearly comprehend. You know Bodhisattva sat down under the Bodhi tree to practice to become the Buddha. He made a very firm resolution in his mind. May my skin, sinews and bones remain, and may my flesh and blood dry up, but I will not desist from this superhuman effort until I reach Buddhahood. I will not get up from this seat until I reach Buddhahood. I will make every effort to achieve my aim. Such an effort is called the right effort. So to make the right effort means you have to make a really good effort, not a slackany effort. The word atapi implies all these meanings. Early morning you wake up, some 2 o'clock, some 3 o'clock, very early. At the moment of waking up, you start to put right effort. The whole day, continuously, until you sleep at night. So that right effort is to remove or avoid unwholesome mental states and to acquire and cultivate wholesome mental states. In order to resist unwholesome mental states, in order to resist evil, you need mental effort. If you do not make effort, you cannot resist evil. So your effort is very useful in removing unwholesome mental states and also to cultivate wholesome mental states. To develop wholesome mental states, you need effort. If you do not make effort, you do not come here. At home, you can be relaxed the whole day. But here, the whole day, you need to make effort. So if you do not make effort, you do not come here. If you do not want to make effort, you do not go this 2 months retreat at all. So you need a real strong effort to practice the foundations of mindfulness. Here also Buddha described the meditators as being atapi, being ardent, which means you have that kinds of effort that burns up the mental defilements. That is indicated by the word atapi is founded by the Buddha. And the next word is atapi sambhajano, clearly comprehending. Clearly comprehending means clearly seeing whatever object you put your mind on, you see it clearly. What does clearly mean? Sampajano. You see it thoroughly, you see it with wisdom. When you concentrate on the abdomen rising and falling, for instance, you see the movement clearly. In the beginning, you see only the abdomen. When concentration getting better, you capture the abdominal movement. You see the rising movement distantly from the falling movement. And you see the falling movement distantly from the rising movement. And also you see that the movement arises and disappears layer by layer, part by part. And that at the moment, they are only the movement and the awareness of the movements and no other things to be called a person or a man or woman or an individual. Such understanding is called sambhajana, clear comprehension. When you have clear comprehension about something, you know that things and all its aspects, and also according to the teaching of the Buddha, you know that they are just the object that can be observed, and the mind that observes. And there is no other which you could call a person or an individual, a man or a woman. Seeing in this way is called clear comprehension. This clear comprehension will come only after some time, not right at the beginning. You practice mindfulness, but right at the beginning, you may not even see the abdomen or movement clearly. Sometimes they are mixed together and very vague. But day by day, little by little, with the growth of your concentration and practice, you will see mind and matter more and more clearly. And then also they are arising and disappearing and so on. So this clear comprehension comes not right at the beginning, but after you have gained some experience. In order for this clear comprehension to arise, we need one more thing. Although it is not mentioned in this discourse, we need one more thing, that is concentration. Without concentration, clear comprehension cannot come. What is concentration? What is samadhi? Concentration is a mental state which keeps the components of mind squarely on the object. It's the mental factors that keeps the components of mind squarely on the object and does not let them go to other objects. That is what we call concentration. It is usually described as the mind being able to be on an object for a long period of time. For example, if you take the abdominal movement as an object, your mind is always on the abdomen and the mind does not go anywhere else. That is what we call concentration. If you take the breath as an object, your mind is always on the breath and the mind does not go anywhere else. Actually, at every moment, also the mental factors which is called concentration, keeps your mind and its component unified on the object. It keeps them together and does not let them go to another object. This concentration is essential for clear comprehension to arise. Without this concentration, we cannot hope to see mind and matter clearly. We cannot hope to get clear comprehension. When we get concentration, our mind calms down and becomes quiet, and this is the time when we begin to see mind and matter. Let's say it is like water. At first, there is dirt or mud in the water, and so we cannot see through the water. But when the dirt or mud settle down and the water becomes clear, we can see through it. So mind needs to be like the water, settled, because there are many dirts or many mental defilements in our mind. Anger, grudge, desire, attachment, delusion, etc. Many defilements in our mind. So long as our minds are contaminated by mental defilements, we cannot see mind and matter clearly. We need to suppress, or we need to let these mental defilements, which are called mental hindrances, settle down so that we can see mind and matter clearly. When we get concentration, we will be able to keep these mental hindrances settled. When the mental hindrances are subdued or settled, mind becomes clear, and it is a time when clear comprehension or true knowledge of things arises. In order to get clear comprehension, we need concentration. And concentration is not mentioned here. Atapi, Samajano, Satima. Only these are mentioned. Concentration is not mentioned here. But we must take it that concentration is also included in this passage or in our practice, because without concentration, we cannot get clear comprehension. Sometimes some words may be left out, but we have to understand them as mentioned through inference. Let's say there is a flat rock and a hunter is following a deer, and he sees footprints on one side, but on that flat rock itself, he does not see any footprints. And again, he sees the footprints on the other side. So from this, the hunter refers that the deer must have run across the flat rock. He sees the beginning, he sees the end of the footprint, and so He infers the middle, that the deer must have run on the rock. In the same way, here, to be mindful is the beginning. Clear comprehension is something like the end. So when these mindfulness and clear comprehension is mentioned, the middle is also virtually mentioned. Because without the middle, without the concentration, there can be no clear comprehension. Atapi sambajano satima. The last word is satima, mindful. Mindfulness is put last here, but actually in our practice, mindfulness should come after ardent. So you make effort. So you have mindfulness. You have mindfulness, so you have concentration, and concentration leads to clear comprehension. So you have mindfulness here, but we have already defined mindfulness, so we do not need to define it again. A meditator dress contemplating the body in the body. A meditator practice the foundations of mindfulness on the body. Be ardent, making true effort, being mindful, and being thoroughly aware of the object, and having concentration and clear comprehension. So that is to see nature dukkha anatta. You have many mental faculties, components. How many components you have to see the anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent suffering and non-self of the mind and matter? Atapi, ardent energy is one component. Sambhajano, clearly comprehension is another component. Samadhi, concentration is yet another. And satima, mindfulness is another. So you have four mental states here. These four mental states are the components of your practice. When you practice, there must be these four mental states working together harmoniously. But there is one more mental state which is not mentioned here. What is that? That is faith or confidence. Saddha. Confidence of faith is also an important factor because if you do not have confidence in this practice, you would not practice. You do not really have blind faith, but you have faith and confidence in the Buddha. You have faith and confidence in his teaching, You believe that just by paying attention to every occurring phenomena occurring at the six senses, you will be able to see the true nature of mind and matter, the impermanent, suffering, and non-self nature. So you should have that much confidence, because without confidence, no work can be successful. So confidence is also a part of your practice of meditation. And although it is not actively operating at the moment of meditation or practice of mindfulness, it is stay there working harmoniously with the other factors. So altogether, you get 5 factors, and these are the 5 factors that are called 5 mental faculties. In Bali, they are called indriyas. These 5 factors must be working simultaneously and harmoniously with each other if you are to have a good practice of meditation. And in the beginning, we may be lacking in clear comprehension, but later when our concentration develops, we will be able to see mind and matter or 5 aggregates or clinging clearly and so on. And these 5 components will be working in harmony. What happens if they do not work in harmony? We are lost. When we are practicing, especially important is the balance of effort and concentration. If effort and concentration are not balanced, if there is an excess of effort or the other concentration, we are lost. Our meditation is nothing. The effort you make must be just enough, not too much and not too little. Sometimes you rush, you eager to practice. Sometimes you tend to make too much effort because you want to achieve something. So you become a little greedy, and so you make more effort. When you make more effort, you become restless, agitated, and then you lose concentration. So too much effort will not work. What happens if there is too little effort? You become sleepy, lazy, and you cannot concentrate, and you cannot practice either. So the effort you make must be neither too much nor too little. So when there is excess of effort, there is not enough of concentration. Among effort and concentration, when one goes up, the other goes down. Too much effort and concentration will go down. When you make too little effort, again concentration goes down. Concentration also must not be too much. When we have too much concentration, we tend to become lazy, we tend to take it easy, or we tend to slacken our effort. Suppose we are practicing and we have good concentration. When we have good concentration, we do not have to make much effort, and so we tend to slacken the effort. When we slacken our effort, the degree of effort goes down and we become lazy or sleepy. In that case, we have to step up our effort by making more effort and paying closer attention, or sometimes by adding some objects to note, more touching point, like 3 or more objects in succession at a time. So the effort and concentration must be balanced so that we have good meditation and clear comprehension. Sometimes, let's say we are practicing and we have good concentration, and all of a sudden we lose concentration. Probably we have made more effort than is needed. We want to make it better, and so we make more effort, and the result is the opposite of what we want. Sometimes you are practicing meditation, your concentration is good, and even though your concentration is good, you tend to go sleepy or nodding. That means you have too much concentration. If there is too much concentration, you have to make the level of concentration go down by stepping up effort, by taking more objects at a time, and so on. So meditation is not easy. We do not want to discourage you, but meditation is really not easy. It is very delicate. Just a little bit of balanced mental state can destroy our concentration we have built up with great effort. So these 5 mental factors, mental states, should be working simultaneously, and also they should be working in harmony. Meditation practice is like a machine. There are many parts in a machine, and each part must work properly. If one part does not work properly, the whole machine goes out of control. In the same way, if any one of the factors does not work properly, the whole work of meditation is thrown out of balance. So each one of these 5 mental factors must be working properly and harmoniously with other factors. Here comes the value of mindfulness. Mindfulness is regulating mental factors. So mindfulness helps to keep effort from becoming too much, and it helps concentration from becoming too much, and so on. So mindfulness factors is a regulating factors among these 5 components in our practice of meditation. That is why it is said that mindfulness is always needed. There can be no excess of mindfulness. Mindfulness is needed everywhere, like a prime minister who does all the work of a king. Mindfulness is a very important factor in these 5 factors, but every factor is important and each one of them must be working in harmony and in balance with the other factors. When the 5 mental factors, saddha, faith, virya, ardent energy, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, concentration, and clear comprehension, wisdom, when they are working in balance, you are clearly comprehending. Then what is the result? The result is very good. Atapi sambajano satima vineya loke beja domanasam. Vineya loke beja domanasam. Overcoming desire and discontent in the world. That is the result you get from clearly comprehending in the practice of mindfulness meditation. Now here, some English translation missed the point. They translate this Bali as having overcome desire and discontent, or having abandoned, or having removed desire and discontent in the world. So what is our practice for? What is this mindfulness practice for? This practice is for overcoming desire and discontent. Abhija, desire means attachment. Domanassa, grief means ill will or anger. So vipassana or satipatthana meditation is for overcoming desire and discontent. If you have already overcome desire and discontent, you do not need to practice. You do not come here. For this very purpose, we are practicing mindfulness. But if we have already achieved this purpose, we do not need to practice mindfulness. So here we should translate it as overcoming desire and discontent in the world. Overcoming, that means at the same time, desire and discontent in the world and not having overcome. That means you overcome desire and discontent as you practice mindfulness. So we need to be aware of this. Beja Vinaya Loge Beja Dominasan, overcoming desire and discontent in the world means avoiding craving or attachment or anger or ill will concerning the object you are observing. Loge in the world means in the worlds of body, in the worlds of feeling, in the worlds of perception, in the worlds of mental formation, and in the worlds of consciousness concerning that object. So we see one object and we can be attached to that object. If we come to the conclusion that it is beautiful or it is good, we will be attached to it. And we can have anger or hatred towards that object if we decided it was ugly or disgusting. So these mental defilements can come into our minds when we experience something. In order to prevent them from arising, we need to make some protection, and that protection is mindfulness. When we are mindful, mental defilements will not get a chance to get into our minds. When we are mindful, when we comprehend clearly, that means you see the arising and disappearing continuously, constantly. And when you see the mind and matter clearly, and you know that these objects come and go, come and go. These objects are impermanent and so not to be attached to them. So you can avoid desire. You have no desire at all, no attachment at all, no hatred at all, because you see the true nature of the mind and matter. So you can avoid desire and discontent regarding that object by your practice of mindfulness. Whether we say overcoming or removing or whatever, actually we are avoiding or preventing them from arising. Not that they have come and then we overcome them or we remove them after they have come. The meaning really is preventing desire and discontent from arising in our minds. If we do not practice mindfulness on the object, mental defilements will surely come, either desire or discontent or attachment or hatred. These mental states can come, but by the practice of mindfulness, you can prevent them from coming. Preventing them from arising in your mind is what is meant by overcoming them. But if they have arisen, of course, we should make them the object of our attention to eliminate them. So we have to stop our discourse for today. We will continue next time by practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting rising, falling, sitting, stretching, bending, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all meditators realize the real peace in the very near future. So